Plymouth Whalers captain Chris Terry has been an integral member of the Whalers since 2005. Recently I had a chance to sit down with Chris, talk about his time on the ice, some of his involvement with community relations, and just get in-depth and personal with Chris Terry. Chris, as Whalers captain, you're heavily involved with the Whalers community relations events. You're pretty tireless in it, whether it's Learn to Skate or public appearances. Just take me through that thinking, why you're so involved. And I guess part of it has to do with some of the veterans you grew up watching, guys like Steve Ward, Jared Boll, and others. And I think it's something that's really outstanding about you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I saw Steve Ward, who was a great leader on the ice, but heavily involved in the community, and that's a role I tried to take on this year. And well, every year I've been here, I've tried to get out in the community and spread the word and talk to as many fans as possible. And again, this year I'm just trying to follow suit and just keep talking to kids and hopefully enjoy it.
Chris, last year you received a lot of positive acclaim and notoriety for your relationship with Bobby Savoy, a young man who passed away due to Lou Gehrig's disease. Just take us through that scenario, how you met him, and the relationship you had with Bobby and his family.
Yeah, definitely. It was last year near in playoffs. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was going to see a young boy named Bobby Savoy. He was ill, and he was scheduled to come to that game that night have a suite with a bunch of his family and friends. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, so I went to him, and he had a jersey made up with my name on it, and I signed it for him, and just sat around and talked to a lot of their friends and family, and especially to him. And after that, I stayed in close contact with not only him but more his family too. And I went back and visited a couple more times throughout the end of the year. And then in the summer, unfortunately, I got a terrible call that I was hoping I'd never get. But I immediately was back for the funeral, and it definitely probably opened my eyes too to how much our OHL players mean to kids or teenagers for that matter in the community. And I loved every second I got to hang out with Bobby and his family, and my heart goes out to them.
And then Chris, to back up to the beginning of that story, we finished a game in Sault Ste. Marie, drove on the bus something like 5 to 6 hours down I-75, got back to Plymouth about 4 in the morning, and really you could have stayed in and slept in and got ready to play a game against Sarnia the next night, but you were up by 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning and visiting with this. And that's a real credit to you, to your devotion to community relations, and really how special this relationship started with yourself and Bobby.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm truly glad I did it. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I'd do it again, this year for anyone. But I'm truly happy that I got to meet Bobby and his family, and it was a heartwarming situation. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the best, but I'm very happy I got to meet Bobby and spend time with him and his family as well too.
You came to Plymouth as a second-round draft pick, highly rated out of the Markham Islanders in the Brampton, Ontario area, scored over 100 points your last year in Markham, but it took a bit of an adjustment for you like it does a lot of players. Just take us through year one and talk about that adjustment.
I think it definitely takes time coming out of midget or minor midget to come into this league and not only just play, but to make an impact. It definitely took me, 15, 20 games to get into the game and, start making an impact and start feeling comfortable out there. And, I think, again, this year we're seeing that with the likes of Tyler Sagan. I mean, he's just coming into his own now. He's playing awesome hockey right now. He's up on the top line, and he deserves all of that. So there's definitely an adjusting period to come into this league. I think, obviously, the faster you adjust, the better, but everyone usually comes around.
And then year two, a championship year for everybody involved with the Whalers. The Whalers win their second OHL Championship in their franchise history. Just an outstanding year. Just take us through that year.
Oh, it was, I can't even put into words what it meant to win a championship in my second year in this league. But, to play with Evan Brophy and Jared Boll was a true honor. I mean, our team was full of big-name players, but the reason why we won, I think, was because of the guys that went out every night in the third and fourth line, grinded out, the penalty kill guys. The guys that maybe weren't the big-name players, but were making big league plays. And, that team was just phenomenal. I mean, I still stay in contact with quite a few guys off that team, and it's one of the hardest things to win in the Memorial Cup. You only have a certain amount of time. Unfortunately, we came up short with that, but to win a league championship in this league is something I'll never forget. I'll cherish my whole life.
Not only, of course, after that year in the summer, you were drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes, and that has to be one of the high points of your hockey career. No matter what else you do, the fact you're drafted and participate in the NHL entry draft has got to be a huge thrill. Just take us through that.
Yeah, the draft was in Columbus that year. I went down to it, and it's something. You get drafted into the OHL, you feel that you've made it pretty far for your hockey career. That's what you wake up for every morning, to play hockey, and then to be drafted into the NHL is a surreal feeling. I mean, to hear your name called from, first they start out with your team and then say your name, and to hear that and to share that with my friends and family that were there was phenomenal. And just to walk down on the draft floor, meet guys like Ron Francis, who I necessarily didn't grow up watching, but I know what a history he had in the NHL was a true honor. And Carolina's a world-class organization, and I was grateful to be drafted by them.
So now you've gone through 2 NHL training camps with the Carolina Hurricanes, and now you're a veteran in this league. You were a captain a little bit last year as a 100-point scorer. Now you're the full-fledged captain of the team this year. What do you take out of 2 NHL training camps that you incorporate here into Plymouth to make you and the team more effective?
Take a lot of things. I mean, they come to the rink every day. It's their job, and it's our job too. I mean, we're living in a different country right now to play hockey, and I think things I can bring back from that is the business-like approach to not only to the rink but to any function away from the rink, and just maturity. I think to act more professional, and hopefully guys follow suit, and because that's how it's done at the next level.
Now, Chris, as a lot of people may not know out there, NHL teams have 2 years to decide whether or not they sign drafted players. And this is your signing year, so it's a very important year for you. Do you think about the fact that you may or may not get signed, maybe when you're driving to the rink, getting ready for a game, or maybe in a quiet moment at home? Am I going to get signed? Is there a lot of pressure there? How do you feel about that?
When I'm driving the rink, it's solely about winning a game. I mean, that's not in my mind at all. But, down the back stretch here in the second half, it probably will be thought about and maybe talked about. But, the first half, it was all, getting this team to 500 and to a winning record. And, now that we're at that, to maintain that and, keep winning more. And, things will pan out the right way. And, things happen, and I'm not too worried about it right now.
Chris, you look at your career and your numbers here in Plymouth, you're going to finish in the top 10 in all important scoring categories. I'm sure right now you're thinking about the team and trying to win games, but maybe down the road, are you going to try to reflect on the fact that you're up there with guys like Chad LaRose and John Vigilante and John Mitchell, and maybe a lot of guys that are right now playing in the National Hockey League? What's your feeling about your longevity and the fact you put up some pretty fair numbers in this league?
Definitely. I mean, I'm not going out every night, looking at my stats, but, hopefully, a couple years down the road when I reflect on how my junior career has been, and, I'll look at those numbers maybe and really see how well of a career I did have, because I've loved every second I've been in Plymouth, and, not only the teams we've had, but how the organization has been treating me. And, I don't think about that game in, game out. Once in a while the boys give me a hard time if they hear something about it, but other than that, it's just good fun, and I'll reflect years down the road.
And then finally, Chris, I love the potential of this team. We've got about 20 games left in the regular season. As you said earlier, the Whalers got to the 500 mark. Now we're a little bit above that. It seems like we're moving up into the middle of the pack of the Western Conference standings, and we're really primed to try to move up and try to get home ice in the first round. I love the potential of this team, and I think the Whalers are going to be very hard to play against in the playoffs. How do you feel about it?
Definitely. I mean, we got off to a slow start beginning of the year, but I think we're playing our best hockey right now at the best time of the year into this stretch here. Into the playoffs, we have a chance to move up some key spots, and we want that home ice advantage in playoffs, and that's number one in our books right now. So I think we're playing great hockey. I mean, from goaltending out, Matt Hackett has not only taken the starting role, but he's played well with it, and he's won us a lot of games. But our defense is second to none right now with 4 or 5 guys that are over 6 feet, which is intimidating to other teams to look at a roster like that or even be out in the ice with. So our defense has played phenomenal, and up front we have 4 solid lines that can be played at any time, and those players will continue to play well and hopefully get some key wins here and move up some key positions.
Well, Chris, I want to thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure not only watching you on the ice, but watching you grow up off the ice, growing up literally from a young boy to a responsible young man. It's really been a pleasure in a lot of ways to watch you. Keep up the great work, and we'll be chatting with you again.
It's always fun, Crupper. Thanks.
For more in-depth information on everything involving the Plymouth Whalers, check it out right here on PlymouthWhalers.com. I'm Pete Krupski. Thanks for watching.